I hear it's 77 in Jupiter today, which is a little nicer than it's been here. But we look forward to the upcoming season. I think it'll be a very competitive club that we've got, and Mo did a good job in the off season to accomplish the goals that he had. So it's always great to kick off a season where you think you've got a really good chance to win, and that's the position we're in. I don't have anything specific to talk about, but I'm sure you might have some questions about various issues with the club or otherwise, and I'll open it up to questions.
Did you miss October baseball last year?
I always miss October baseball if we're not in it, but so I watched a little bit on television, and
Not quite the same?
not quite the same, no.
How hard is it when team's not in the playoffs to avoid that knee-jerk reaction? Be like, okay, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. How hard is it to stick to the plan that you've used all these years?
Yeah, one of the things I said out there, an answer to a question, was that we try to compete every year, and I think some clubs take a little different approach. They feel like, oh, this is our window, and they go all out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And when you go all out, you trade a bunch of kids for veterans, or you use a lot of resources on free agents. You just do that. You use up resources. And I know there's been talk about payroll. We do have a high payroll this year relative to the industry and the industry average. But in terms of how we utilize our resources, it's not just about payroll, because we, this past year, spent a lot of money internationally. We felt like it was a window to exceed our cap, which is very punitive. You've got to pay dollar for every dollar you spend over your cap. But we were in a position where there weren't some of the bigger markets out there who can outbid you on any player you might want. And we feel like we had a really good year in the international market, and the year continues because it's it starts in the middle of the summer and goes until the end of next June. So we'll continue to be aggressive in that marketplace, and again, those are investments we make for the future, but ones that we feel will pay off more so than other investments we might make. And that's the approach we've taken. We won 86 games, which is winning season, but not our goal, which is always to win 90 plus. And then we feel like we've got a really good shot at the playoffs. If we can do that on a consistent basis, that's what we'd like to do. We don't want to have to get into a rebuild mode where we trade off good players, productive players, for kids. We want our own kids coming through the system.
What's the biggest